going on? It's Kevin Kenny live in New York City for the Build series, and our guest today that's about to join me on stage is a multi-time Grammy Award nominee and has a brand new #1 album on the Billboard R&B charts entitled Game Changer 2. Please let's give it up for Johnny Gill. Welcome to Build.
Thank you for having me.
We got to run that video back. We just played Johnny's music video for the audience here in New York, and this is far more than a music video. This is a movie, really a short film that you shot with Tiffany Haddish. How did this all come about? This is beautiful.
Well, I've been on Tiffany for many years, and a good friend of mine, Chris Spencer, who actually directed the video, he says, "Let's get Tiffany." I was like, Tiffany right now is one of the hottest commodities in Hollywood. I'm like, please get Tiffany. She probably, and he called her, and it was his idea, and she said, "For Johnny, I'll do anything."
That's amazing.
But it's a true testament that I've been knowing Tiffany before when she first started, and my mom have always taught me, my mother and my father, that you always treat people the way you want to be treated. You never know who you're going to need, and over the years, I've always been there. She's always been such a wonderful person. So I was truly grateful and honored that she would. Take the time out of the schedule to do that. So
absolutely, and just a stunning visual, really, to say the least, and also a #1 song. So congratulations, round of applause. How sweet is it for you, for someone that this is your 8th studio album, for the lead single to go #1 on the Billboard R&B charts? Just astounding.
It is really, honestly, amazing to me. It's the reason why it's amazing, because I've been in this game almost 36, 37 years, and the album just came out. Debuted at #1, then the single goes #1. Some of the songs I've had over the years, and I've had quite a few records, hit records. They work their way up the charts, and that happens. But this is the first that I've had where the album actually just debuts #1. So, but it has been truly awesome. Different experience doing this myself, where I'm actually. I'm the owner, the CEO of my own label. So I've been doing this since 2011, and so just watching how we've grown, how the company has grown, and how I've grown as not only just as an artist, but as an entrepreneur in this game. So it's been pretty awesome.
Congratulations again. That's huge. That's
Thank you.
Far easier said than done. There's something I wanted to ask you about where, when you listen to Soul of a Woman, there's something just so timeless about R&B, where that just sounds so current, and that sounds so today, that I don't know it would translate with, let's say, a rock artist with your resume, right? It might sound a little more dated on the rock side. What do you think it is that is so timeless about the music you make?
There's something that, a rule that I live by, because I'm a musician as well. And one of the things that I've always said is I don't ever want to compromise who I am and what I do. I'm inspired by music, by different styles of music. But the key is there's an art to this, learning how to be inspired, but at the same time, not losing or compromising the essence of who you are. And what I've done was with songs like Soul of a Woman, which I know was a traditional R&B record, I sat down, had meetings with the production team. And one of the things that I told them to be cognizant of is that from a sonic standpoint, that means sound-wise and production-wise, that even though the song is a classic traditional R&B song, it still should feel like if you played it on the radio today, that it should feel and meet up to any of the other songs that are out there that if it followed behind on radio. So I made them focus on the fact that we know the song was a great song, but the other thing is that so that it didn't feel dated is that we were focused on sonically making sure that it feels good when it comes on.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful what you just said, and I think it also lines up with something that I hear from artists of your caliber is that over time, sonics will change and fluctuate, but a great song is a great song. A great song is a great song.
You know how long I had that song, Soul of a Woman? That song didn't make it on the very first album, Game Changer album. I had that song, and I would just play that song for my own listening pleasure. I didn't even, and I didn't know. And when I got ready to start recording Game Changer 2, that was the very first song that I recorded. And I remember my mother asking me to play that song over and over and over again. And I'm going, "You really like this song, huh?" And she goes, "Yeah, yeah, I like this. and so that's what made me decide to go with that to open with as a first single. And it's, as I say, mothers know best. It went straight to the top.
Do you play a lot of the music for Mom? Is she kind of like the best test?
Well, you know, it's crazy. The reason why this song was so special is because normally my mom, she waits, so she'll listen, and she says, you know, she always supports me. But this one was a song where she would call me. It wasn't even done. And she would go, yeah, what's that song again? Yeah, play that song again. So my brother, and I'm traveling. My brother calls me and he goes, yeah, Mom, singing that song, singing the hook to that song. I said, really? I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you this song. You can't let anybody else get a hold to it because it's not mixed, it's not done. So I said, tell Mama to just enjoy it. So it was just special. She connected with this song.
Yeah, a little advanced copy from Mom.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want to take it back for a second to your origins. And you born and raised in D.C.?
Washington, D.C., yeah.
What is it about the DMV, man, and Baltimore, I'll kind of group in there, that just produces this amazing R&B music? We've had Mario on the show. We've had Drew Hill on the show, of course.
Yeah.
You
Marvin
now.
Gaye,
Yeah.
Stacey Lattisaw, a great producer by the name of Freddie Perrin, who did a lot of the Jacksons' earlier stuff. I Want You Back, ABC, Donny Hathaway. The list goes on of many, many people and artists. That Tony Braxton, Martin Lawrence, who comes from there. You know, I don't know if it's so much of the cities. It's just that we just happen to be in the right place at the right time, and being and coming from there, we are and have been heavily influenced by great music because it's a great music town. It really is. And as a kid growing up, I sang gospel at church all my life. So having that opportunity to just learn how to connect with an audience, there's no better on-job training that you'll ever get than if you want to learn how to connect with an audience and be able to play and work or be able to go in any other place to perform. That's where it all starts.
In the church.
In the church. It's you move them, you can move anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so cool because that's where I got my training. And but it's just I was always inspired. My dad was a minister. So we heard nothing but gospel music around the house all day, every day, nonstop.
Yeah.
And little did I know as a kid, I'm just like a sponge. And most kids are. We're sponges. Even when you don't think that we're listening or watching, you're influenced by your surroundings and your environment. And I was one. My dad bought us a bunch of instruments. And my brothers, you know how kids' siblings are. They're like, no, get off mine. Don't play with mine. You can't play with mine. So, hey, I used to play sick. And when they go to school, I get on all the instruments. Nobody can understand why I can play everybody's instrument.
A little too good at that one, right? Yeah.
I was that influenced and didn't realize that I was influenced and that intrigued with the instruments and that it was that serious. I just had an interest in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You recorded your first ever demo at 16. And when I was reading about the story, were you almost unsure about doing it? Did your friend have to convince you?
Well, no. What happened is I didn't understand the business. I didn't, when people normally make demos, you have to have pretty much, it's a production. You have to go in the studio, do all this stuff. I had no clue to none of that stuff. I had a $29 tape recorder, and you remember the ones that they had the cassette, and you just push record and play? I had one of those. I sang a couple of songs on there. That's what we sent them as a demo. Hey, I didn't know.
But I think that's an amazing story for kids today that, they'll make up all the excuses in the world in their head. Oh, I need this, I need that. You did it with a tape recorder.
With a tape recorder with nothing but just me singing. And how this guy by the name of Henry Allen, God rest his soul, could hear what no one else could hear. And it was amazing. It was truly amazing. He called and said, hey, listen, have you ever been on an airplane before? I said, no, sir. He says, we're going to bring you to New York. And it was amazing to come, first of all, to be on the plane and to come to New York for the first time ever. And but even before that, he had me singing because he was going, this can't be. Let me sing again. So I sang for him over the phone, and he brought down the first floor, all the staffs on the first floor, up on the third floor, then the staff on the second floor, and I sang over the phone while he kept going, yeah, listen to this, sing it again. Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna be, baby. You're gonna be a big star.
He was right.
Yeah, he was right.
Looking back.
Yeah, God rest his soul. He lived to be almost 100.
Wow.
What amazing. Oh, and he played such an intricate part in my career because he saw what no one else saw and heard what no one else could hear with me. I had a problem in the beginning of my career because I was only 15, 16 years of age. They were trying to figure it out. They kept going, what do you do with this guy that's got this grown man's voice, but he's just a kid? So the body had to catch up with the voice.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember I've heard Usher say something similar to when he was first coming out, because he broke as a teenager, but they had a problem with him where he was 14 and singing these grown up songs because of how the voice sounded, but visually you're still a teenager.
Just a teenager. So it was truly amazing, but it was truly my destiny. I mean, no matter how we chop it up, and we didn't know. I know for me as a kid, I didn't understand or knew what the word failure meant or mean, because it was never a part of my thought process that, hey, what if this doesn't work? Like, I had no idea. All I know is you do this, you're in this business, you're going to be a big star, you're going to be successful. I had no idea that many people don't make it.
Do you think that now, looking back, though, with 2020 vision, that lent to your success because your eyes were just so solely focused on the prize?
Absolutely. Failure was not even a part of the process to even think about whether this is going to work or not. I just did what I knew I could do, and I started seeing people were being intrigued by it, and that was to open my mouth and sing. And the rest was not something I understood about the business. How many records you sell that makes you successful, how many you don't sell that make you not successful. So I never came back going, wow, this first project didn't work, and man, what's going to happen? I had no idea, not a clue.
Yeah, well, you were focused on the most important part, and you weren't distracted. It sounds like.
Yeah.
What is your most vivid memory of those days? Is it like, can you think back to that day of recording the demo, of how it smelled, of what the weather was like outside?
I was actually at my grandmother's house because I was talking to a young lady by the name of Stacy Lattisaw who grew up, and she was the it girl during the 80s. And she was a good friend of mine because we all grew up and went to the same school, and we used to all hang out. Her place was the hangout spot. So, it was just one of those things where I just recorded it at my grandmother's house, and she was the one that told me that she had talked to the record company owner, Henry Allen, about me, and he wanted to hear my voice. So I just said, okay, and I was like, well, what do I do? It's like, just sing.
So cool.
And yeah.
It's wild. Getting back up to date, the second single, I think we can officially say, is top 10 right now. So congratulations. This is perfect, 6, right? Where you linked up with Ralph
Perfect
again?
with Ralph.
This is so cool.
So yeah, brought him along and said, hey, and it was so funny because when I heard this song, I said, Ralph, I hear you on this all day. And he was like, let me hear it. Okay, when are we gonna record
immediately
it?
in.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah. He's like, this is about to be a problem.
And it's already top 10. I mean, this is really fantastic.
6 on the charts, and we're climbing. So, been truly amazing this whole journey, learning this business, understanding that it has changed, and realizing that at the end of the day, with the changes that, you have to learn how to, as they say, the old saying, get in where you fit in, but understanding that you really have to stay open. And yes, I've been in this game almost over 30-something years, but I am still inspired. I'm still excited about it. I'm still open to learn and not looking at the art form and thinking, well, this is a part of it I don't understand. I don't understand this generation's. I just look at everything and try to figure out what is it that people are connecting with, and I try to stay open, keep myself open to just be inspired. And I think that's been the beauty of it for me as being a musician. I'm inspired by someone saying something, one line that could be funny. I'm inspired by a note or a beat. I'm inspired by a number of things as a musician that I think that has helped me to really keep my mind open. Because if you listen to this album, Game Changer 2, Game Changer 2 goes from that traditional song to contemporary songs. And what you'll still get in the magic in the album is just that everybody keeps going, oh my God, finally, a great R&B album or a great album that's just, and I didn't set out to do anything but record great songs. And I said, let the chips fall where they may. And from the beginning to the very end of this album. There's not one wasted song on this album, and everyone that has gotten the album has, I mean, if you look at the reviews, if you talk to the fans, it's been truly amazing, because I didn't think I could top the Game Changer 1 album. That album went for 4 years. Wow. It had a song called Behind Closed Doors. We had This One's For Me and You with New Edition, Game Changer, 5,000 Miles with myself and Jaheim, what is this? It was a number of songs that came off the Game Changer 1 album, and I said, chances of us topping this album probably is going to be a tall order to fill. And this album surpassed that one, and I didn't think I could do it. And then you don't know if you've done it until the music is in the hands of the jury, which is the fans. Right. And once they have spoken, yeah. And it was just amazing. And I went, whew.
A resounding response.
Oh my goodness!
Say the least.
This album has so many different feels to it, but yet everything feels like there's a purpose. It feels still like just a solid album. And if you put it on, just press play. Anybody in here who hasn't gotten it, just get it. Money back guarantee. I have a song that I recorded with Carlos Santana and Sheila E called Fiesta, and that has to be one of my proudest moments to have. I mean, I'm a guitarist, and it's one of my idols, and to call him and ask him to be a part of, and for him to do so was truly a dream come true. Even after 30-something years of doing this, and I've worked with so many artists, it was truly an honor. And I play guitar, and I bought several of my guitars, Paul Smith's, because of Carlos. So of course mine's never sound like his, though. But so I was so honored, man. But I have Ralph Tresvant, we got Carlos Santana, Sheila E, Kevon Evans, Edmonds. I'm sorry, does with After Seven, and just, like I said, just. The whole album will have you in like a trance.
Yeah. A beautiful tribute to Luther on that.
And there's a tribute to That's My Baby, yeah, which I wanted to do to my great friend Luther, who I miss dearly. I mean, This guy was the funniest man to me on the planet. So quick on his feet, and yet he was truly a master at painting the picture and telling the story. One of the greatest storytellers to me ever.
It's amazing. Let's get to some questions here in New York City. The first is going to come from right over here.
Hello, yes.
Hey.
I know your brother Randy sings, so
yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing a song with him? Like maybe the girl meets him first?
No, because that's not going to happen.
No.
Don't you tell him I said,
I'm lying. I'll be lying to myself if I'm lying down with you.
If you tell my brother Randy, oh my God, let me tell you, he's another one. He's fast as I don't know what. He comes back like this, and you go, he got it already set up. Yes, we will do something at some point. He used to go out with me and he used to sing with me background. And then, my mother's health is not in the greatest place. So, I admire my brother so much because I come home and work and do what I can. And he's truly committed and given his life here to continue to help my mom as well as everybody, my whole family. So it has been truly a blessing, but he is my hero. Yeah.
Awesome. Great question. We have time for one more. Come from over here.
Johnny Gill.
I didn't do it.
That's all I could say. Johnny Gill. Like, my mom would trip if she knew I was in front of you.
Oh,
for real.
Wow.
But my first question, the host actually touched on it. But I want to ask a little deeper question. It was back in 1987, right? 1985, 1987, when you went from being solo to joining New Edition. I want to know how hard, like, was that a hard process? When you made that?
Oh, absolutely. But joining New Edition was one of those things where when I got a call, actually I ran into them to Michael and Michael Bivens and I think it was Hiram and somebody he was with. And when they asked me about coming to see them perform, and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, because we crossed paths. We all started at the same time. Though I started as a solo artist, I started in '83 as well. And it was funny because I'm thinking, what do they want? What do they want me to do? So I said, yeah, not a problem. I'll come and check them out. But as I went and did that, then when after the show, they go, hey man, what are you doing tomorrow? Let's have lunch. Can you make it for lunch? And I'm going, yeah, I don't have much to do. And from there, it turned into, man, let's have a meeting. And it turned into a meeting. It turned into, man, what we was thinking about. And I'm going, okay, what you thinking about is, yeah, man, we want to try to, move and create a sound because our audience is getting older, and we want to go into trying to make a transition into more of a mature sound. Not anything against Ralph's voice, but they were just saying that they just felt like, in order to make that transition decisively and make it strong and powerful, that they felt that with your voice, it could do that for us and take us to that level. I said, I could sing, but exactly what y'all want me to do while y'all dancing? And they took me over to Ronnie's house, and Ronnie's Uncle Brooks says, okay, let's see if we can just get him to do the cross step. I did the cross step, and all I saw was Brooke go, ay, ay, ay. Y'all, what have y'all got me into? I am not a miracle worker. Maybe y'all should have took him to Jesus. But somehow, like anything else, you put your mind to it, you focus and go, okay, this is what we're doing. And they had to work with me. It was not a walk in the park, but I knew, like anything else, open your mind and be willing and ready for challenges. That's the thing that we all have to understand and be ready for. It's stepping out of the comfort zone. Sometimes we only want to do what we do if it works or if it feels right or comfortable for us. But that's when you get your best results, is when you step outside of your comfort zone and ready to take the challenge. Yeah.
Absolutely. Great question, man. That was a really awesome question. We have time for one more. I lied. Here it is right here.
Hey.
Hi.
So you toured all over, whether it's with New Edition or as a solo artist. So what would you say has been your favorite and least favorite song to perform, and why?
Ooh, my favorite song to perform, and God, it's crazy when you start having such a catalog. It's such a challenge when I go into rehearse. We go through the catalog to go, okay, which songs we're going to put in, what song, and there's never a night that I don't perform. Someone goes, how come you didn't do that song? How come you didn't do this song? How come you didn't do this song? Did you do that song? Oh, you did my song. And I'm just sitting and you go, wow, it's been that long, and we've been so fortunate to have a great what you come of songs. So, but my favorite probably would be There You Go. There You Go was one of those songs that I recorded for the Boomerang soundtrack, and I used to hate recording. And I used to say if I could record all my stuff live and never have to go in the studio, I used to hate the redundant process where you have to keep singing over. And I was like, I'll just sing live, and here's my new song. So that song was the shortest recorded song, the song that I've ever recorded, and still to me one of the most enjoyable songs for me to perform every time I'm in concert. When I hit that song, when I'm in concert, I go, okay, it's time to go to work. And my least favorite, I don't know, probably. I don't know. I don't know if I have a least favorite. Sometimes it just gets redundant. If I take the song of a show, it depends on, I call audibles in the show. And if I go too many back-to-back ballads, I'll go, okay, it's time to bring them up. And I'll look at them and call an audible, and they go, okay, and we'll rock. But there's no songs that I think I've ever recorded that I go, I don't know if I like performing it. Yeah.
Great question. You ever play like any LSG songs? We didn't even talk about LSG.
Oh, absolutely. My body is in my show show lineup of songs that I do, and I watch people just eat it up. They love it.
Yeah.
Yes. I miss my good friend Gerald so much, and my brother. He was just truly my road dog. Like I tell you, he was my really right hand man that ride or die, and I miss him still to this day. Yeah.
Amazing, man.
Yeah, but Keith and I are going to do some. We've been talking actually, and going to do an LSG album. So we're just going to do that with Pop Levert, which is Gerald Levert's dad. So and as well, we'll bring on some other friends. But that is something that's in the work as well. Yeah,
that's really cool. I can't thank you enough, man. Johnny Gill, everybody.